Trombley with your regional radio forecast. Thunderstorms likely today. Otherwise, cloudy skies expected. Daytime highs approaching 75. Southwesterly winds 8 to 15 miles per hour. Cloudy skies expected tonight. Thunderstorms likely. Lows level off around 63. Get weather anytime by calling 824-6101 or online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Right now, it's 68 degrees.
WTIM.
This is Eric Lamola reporting. Good morning. It is June 4th, 2025. Current news time is 8:06, 72 degrees outside and cloudy skies. Taking a look at our expanded local newscast for this 8 o'clock hour. Taylorville Community Credit Union will have a new location within the next year. The Taylorville Planning Commission and Taylorville City Council Monday night approved the credit union's plans for a new building to be constructed at 820 North Webster, where the former New North Lanes bowling alley was located. CEO Will Perkins says the credit union has owned the lot for quite a while.
We've owned the lot now for a number of years, and this has been in the planning stages for, over a couple of years now. And so it's something we've put a lot of efforts into, and having something that we really needed to, expand our operations, needed more space for employees, more privacy for members. And so, we put a lot of thought into the building and making it something that's going to be good, not just, for the members, but for the community and for the future of the credit union.
Perkins added that the credit union was founded in 1956 with the present structure built in the 1960s.
Credit union's been around since 1956. Our current building was built in, I think it was 62, 64, somewhere in that neighborhood. It's been added on to twice. It's been a great facility. We just don't have any room to expand. And, for our members and that, and, our employees all park across the street, and that how it is now. And it's just, this will give us a lot more space. Our loan officers will have their own offices versus being cramped in one little room. Give us, we'll have 2 rooms to open up accounts from new members and that coming in. We'll have a community room that we can have different events and that in. And so just really, tried to set this up for, like I said, for something that the community, can use and, and different things that we can do there. But really looking towards, the future for the credit union. So something we're very proud of and excited to be able to show off to the community here and over the next year or so.
Perkins says he's hoping that the new building will be up in less than a year.
We're looking, hopefully, to get started here, once we get all the permits and everything, lined up here in the next month or so. That's kind of fluid, just depending on how everything goes with that. But the build time is 274 days if everything goes well. So a very specific timeline, but, that's always going to change pending weather and that. But, definitely by this time next year, we hope to be in the, in the facility or should be in the facility and, probably, spring or so of 26.
TCCU also has locations in Pana, Hillsborough, and Litchfield. The Taylorville Kiwanis Club heard committee chairs give reports on current projects for children and youth at their weekly meeting Tuesday at the Taylorville Moose Lodge. It was the club's monthly business meeting where the club reviews activities focused on its core mission of investing locally into the next generation. Among reports heard was one from Kiwanis Student Leadership Chair Will Perkins that both the High School Key Club and the Junior High Builders Club came off a successful school year with good membership. Kiwanis Park Committee co-chairs Larry Kemner and Dwayne Stock reporting that they have the park in great shape to host families and events this summer. The Kiwanis Club's recent scholarship picnic was held there May 27th with nearly 30 Kiwanis members, spouses, scholarship winners, and their parents in attendance. Taylorville Kiwanis Club is part of a global organization of volunteers dedicated to improving the world one child and one community at a time. Weekly meetings are held Tuesdays at noon at the Taylorville Moose Lodge. For more information on the club, visit TaylorvilleKiwanis.com. A stretch of Illinois Route 29 between Rochester and Taylorville is now known as the Congressman Rodney Davis Superhighway. The Illinois House of Representatives adopted a resolution on Saturday morning designating that name. State Representative Wayne Rosenthal sponsored the resolution. It applies for the portion of the route between Cardinal Hill Road in Rochester and East 1600 North Road in Taylorville. Rodney Davis graduated from Taylorville High School and served in the U.S. House from 2013 to 2023. The expansion of Route 29 between Taylorville and Rochester took over 20 years of planning and construction According to Rosenthal, in December of 1992, Congressman Davis witnessed a crash that took the life of Melody Trauber, a 29-year-old woman from Taylorville. In that incident, the car hit a slick spot and slid into oncoming traffic.
Melody Trauber was one of 7 people killed on Illinois Route 29 between Springfield and Taylorville from 1988 to 1995, and her death helped spur the creation of Project 29, a grassroots citizens group that lobbied for the widening of the road to 4 lanes. Congressman Davis was instrumental in planning and public engagement that led to the widening of Route 29.
The resolution now moves to the state Senate. Safe Passage Taylorville continues to see a steady amount of clients needing help, and soon there will be a new location to seek support. First United Methodist Church of Taylorville has offered its Safe Passage additional space to see more clients. With the additional size, Safe Passage Taylorville would like to make some potential changes to how they serve clients and their families. Denise Evans, coordinator of Safe Passage Taylorville, talks about the new relationship with First United Methodist Church in Taylorville.
The First United Methodist Church here in Taylorville contacted me and wanted to know what they could do to help with Safe Passage. So I met with Pastor Hurley and Pastor Van Dyke. They said they were open to just about anything. They have a new addition to their church, and so they have a lot of room in there. It's very nice. So right now we're looking at starting to hold meetings over there. We also have meetings at the First Presbyterian Church, but we could always use more. And so next week, I think it is, I'm going to meet with them again, be looking out for the times, and I'll post that on our page, the Safe Passage of Taylorville, so everybody can see that.
Evans talks about some of the changes they'll be rolling out. Clients could potentially bring their support person with them, giving their loved one more information on how they can help out.
I think we're going to make it also a little bit different.
Okay.
Because all the other meetings are the clients only, the recovery person only can go. So this one, we're going to have, let them invite like a spouse, mother, father, maybe one person to come with them, a support person, and they can come into the meeting also. I find a lot of times when I have a new client coming in and I explain to them, we like to keep up after their rehab is complete and we have meetings and everything. It's good to stay in a group of supporters. And a lot of times the person that's with the client, mother, father, spouse, will say, well, can I go to the meeting also? And I said, no, I can't even go to private. But I think, we're going to try it and see how that works.
Evans says support is what is needed most in their client's journey to sobriety.
I think that would be great because anybody that is going through recovery needs support, whether it be from friends, family, or people that they meet at the meetings, whatever. But they have to stay in a support group after and during to help them along. I mean, it's just something it's hard to do by yourself. When they go to rehab, they meet people there and they all support each other. I see just from going to Celebrate Recovery once in a while, I see all the people that, not all, but a lot of people that have come to me at the beginning, and now they're all a group and they all support each other. And that really helps. Completely different people than you met the very first. You don't recognize them sometimes.
Recognizing that you have a problem is the first step to getting the help that you need. While there is plenty of hard work still required to stay sober after seeking help, just asking for it can sometimes be the most difficult part.
That is the number one thing they have to do is make their decision to walk into the police department to talk. You know, a lot of people might not want to come to the police department, but, you know, that's where offices are at. And they find out that, you know, they're not judged and they don't have to talk to police officers. My office is away from where the offices are at. So, you know, it's hard for them, but it's the number one step. And I always tell them, once you got over the step of walking through the door, now you can do it. You know, it's hard work, but you can do it. And when they go, like I said, when they go to rehab, they'll have all kinds of support.
For more on St. Patrick's Taylorville, visit them at their Facebook page. Also call 217-824-2211. That's 824-2211. Denise Evans appears as a guest on the WTIM Morning Show. Schools in Nokomis are at the end of an academic year full of progress and extraordinary achievements by its students. Some high school graduates have gone above and beyond in their educational experiences, and school district leaders hope to keep the momentum going into the fall. Having previously been a teacher in Nokomis, District Superintendent Dr. Scott Dewar took the job when this year's graduates were only in second grade. He says watching these same students accomplish what they have makes this class extra meaningful to him.
I was talking to a former student this past weekend and can remember when they were in my classroom back in the day, you know, and telling me, you know, what they're doing now. And I see these kids doing the same thing. Right. You know, I don't have them in a classroom, obviously, but I see them in the halls and I'll see them at ball games and I'll see them at events and we chat, talk and have a good time. In fact, 2 of these graduating seniors earned a education pathway certificate through our education pathway program. And I taught them all 4 of those classes because they're going to be teachers. You know, they want to be teachers, and that's a big part of that program. So these were the first 2 kids that completed all 4 courses that were offered, and it's just great seeing them.
Dr. Dewar also credits the faculty and staff for their hard work, knowing that some of them have taken extra steps to ensure students can do the same thing with their studies.
I see them providing our students different and new opportunities every year. And we do that not only as individual classroom teachers, but also as a building and as a district. Excuse me. You know, at this point in time, our kids can obtain up to 55 dual credit semester hour in classes. We actually had 2 students this year that graduated from Lincoln Land with an associate's degree the weekend before they graduated from high school. So, you know, it's great to see that our teachers are willing to go back and obtain the necessary credentials to do those dual credit classes and provide our students with opportunities that not only advance learning, but in the long run really saves those kids a lot of money. You know, those two sisters will go to a 4-year college and probably graduate in 2 years instead of 4.
The school district has been hoping to see improvement in student outcomes. The data suggests that is exactly what is happening.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we were just going over some data the other day, mostly for our elementary and junior high kiddos, looking at data and just seeing the growth that we have seen with our kiddos in math and reading and how much they grew. Some of them grew over a year's worth of knowledge. And these were probably kiddos that were a little bit behind because of the special programs such as Title Reading. We put into place a Title Math program this year. So we saw our math scores, you know, drastically increase internally. Obviously, we'll wait for the state testing results to come back this summer to compare those. But, you know, the great things that the elementary teachers are even doing with our response to intervention and our title programs and our special needs programs, we're just seeing tremendous amount of success.
Dr. Dewar wants to see his students keep their important skills up over the summer. A big step in that respect is regular reading.
reading whatever content they want to read, whether it be, history books, but it could also be graphic novels. It could be, something that they enjoy reading, but getting them to sit down and read for 30 minutes a day not only increases their base knowledge, but also keeps them active and keeps their brain going and motivated to come back in the fall and jump right back into it. We obviously want them to have a great summer and take some time off and rejuvenate, but learning is constant. It's every day. And so if every kiddo can take 30 minutes out of the day and read something, that would be a tremendous help to them as they progress into the next school year.
More information on the Nokomis School District available at nokomis.k12.il.us and on their Facebook page. Dr. Scott Dewar appears as a guest on the WTIM Pana Morning Show. Illinois farmers say they could use some more growing degree days. Brent Clare farms in Adams County. Areas of west central Illinois, including parts of Adams County, have been experiencing moderate drought conditions per the U.S. Drought Monitor. Portion of Expanded Local News brought to you by First National Bank in Taylorville.
Have you ever considered changing banks? Hi, I'm Mackenzie, Universal Banker at First National Bank in Taylorville. I talk to people all the time who say they've thought about switching banks, but they're not sure how to start. My answer, it's never been easier. At FNBT, our friendly staff will confidently answer your questions, making your decision to switch easier than ever. FNBT has been a part of this community for nearly 70 years, and we're not going anywhere. First, every time, that's more than a slogan, it's how we take care of people. Come see me, and I'll help make your switch simple. First National Bank in Taylorville, member FDIC.
Taking a look at obituaries today, 82-year-old Glenn Neal of Taylorville died May 29th. Schaefer Perfetti and Sally Funeral in Taylorville in charge of the arrangements. 76-year-old Joseph Eugene Burrow of Taylorville died May 30th. Visitation is June 9th from 4 to 7, with funeral services to follow at McClure Funeral in Taylorville. Burial will be at a later date at Anderson Cemetery in Palmer. McClure Funeral and Cremation Services in Taylorville in charge of the arrangements. For this obituary and all other obituaries, visit our obituary section online at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Local news every hour on WTIM, your only local news radio, and also TaylorvilleDailyNews.com. Current news time, 8:24.
AgriTalk is the radio talk show for American agriculture. Hi, everybody. I'm your host, Chip Flory. We join you weekday mornings from